Hello and welcome back to another video of Calc Nerd. So today's video is going to be on a version of Battleship that I made. This is just like the original version of Battleship, so it's not my version of Battleship, but the actual game Battleship. Besides, mine is a 6x7 grid and the real Battleship is a 10x10. I did not have enough space on my calculator to do a 10x10. But in the future, I might do a little bit bigger than a 6x7 because you could technically do an 8x16. But I just have to output it each time, and so it would have taken more time in between each of the turns. So I just made this version for now. Comment down below if you would like me to make another version, and I would happily do that in the future. It wouldn't take a lot of changes, and I would tell you what they are in a future video. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and I'm going to show you how you play this on your calculator. Okay, so here we are inside Program Battleship. It already drew the border stuff. Okay, so now what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you the ship placement part of it and all the different ways that my family and I have played this, the most enjoyable ones that we have done. So, to place your ships, you use the enter button, and you use the arrow keys to move the cursor around. So like if I want to go to the left, I click the left arrow key. And so I click enter, and it's kind of hard to see, but the plus does flash. When you actually have it programmed on your calculator, it will be easier to see, don't worry. So if you can't see it, that's okay. So, as you can see, I placed my ships, and don't worry, there is a way to pick up your ships. I'll show you that in a second. You just use enter when you're on top of it. And so you get 6 O's total, which are your ships. So I'm going to pick all of these up really quick. So as you can see there, I did 2-3 ships. I really do like playing with 2-3 ships. That's one of my favorite ways to play, but not my personal favorite. It's probably my second favorite one. You can also do 3-2 ships, and there's many other combinations than what I'm saying. There's also a 3, a 2, and a 1, which is pretty fun. The 1 ship adds a little bit more interest. It really makes the game interesting if you have a 1 ship. And then another one that it's probably my favorite is what I call connected. So you just take one, you place it, and you connect all your ships to it somehow. So like, okay, now I'll put one here and then like one here, something like that. And that's connected. It can be connected in any direction as long as it is touching. So diagonal does still count. That is one of my favorite ways to play. And after you have 6 ships, you won't be able to place any more. And as you can see, I did not have 6 there. So that's kind of like one that I would like to have if I was actually playing. So there, I clicked enter. I'll click it again. As you can see, it won't give you any more than 6. And after you have 6, you click the delete key. It will erase everything and turn it over to the next player. So then the next player goes, and I'm going to purposefully put one at A1 just so I can show you what hits and misses look like. And I'm just going to kind of just place stuff all around, and that is just fine. As you can see, not the greatest ship placement. And then again, you click delete. And then the player that places second actually goes first. Because they place second, I thought, you know what, I'll have them go first. So you move around just like in the last one. And then to fire, you use the enter key again. So let's say I want to shoot right here. I normally like shooting at C4 first. It's just kind of a thing that I like to do. So as you can see, it outputted a little X. And you can use different characters, but I do prefer the little X the most. And I will teach you. I actually have a different video that shows how you can get lowercase letters on your graphing calculator if you don't already have them. It's a pretty interesting video. It actually is a 1-line program. So if you want to check that out, you can just click up in the corner right there. So now the second player goes. So I'm going to purposely miss for the second player. The first player goes again. Okay, it's another miss. Wow. Okay, so now I'm going to purposefully shoot at A1. As you can see, it is a star. And that star is saying that is a hit. Okay? And so I'm pretty sure I put one around there. Yep, same thing, gives you a hit. And so it doesn't matter which side you're on, you can get hits and misses. And they're all stored in 2 different matrices. I didn't actually know that was going to be a hit. And so after someone hits all their ships, so I'm just going to purposely miss. After someone hits all the ships, the game ends. So I'm just going to quickly show you that. I think I put it like either one more over. Okay. The game will end just like that. So I don't know why. I couldn't remember. I thought it was connected. So yeah. Now I'm going to have a special guest come and play with me because it's not really fun to play Battleship by yourself. So yeah, enjoy a time lapse of a couple games of Battleship. And then after, as always, I will show you how you can program this on your own calculator. And it doesn't just work on the TI-83 Plus. It'll work on anything newer than a TI-83 Plus. If you do have something like a TI-84 Plus CE, the screen size is a little bit different. So it will be a little bit too small for the screen, but that is what it is. And on the TI-84 Plus, you could actually do a 10x10 version of Battleship. So that might be one of my future videos coming up, showing you how to make a 10x10 version on a TI-84 Plus CE. So I hope you enjoy the time lapse, and then we'll get right into how you can program this on your own calculator. So that was a pretty intense game right there. It came down to the last ship. It was a really fun one. I hope you guys did enjoy that. And so now I'm going to show you how you can make this on your own calculator. So this was a game that I did program. It took me a little while. It's kind of some of the same stuff repeated. So yeah, it's a pretty fun game though. Okay, so quote A, B, C, D, F, EF, sorry, quote, store into string 1, clear home, del var matrix A, and then fancy bracket, 7, comma 8, store into the dimensions of matrix A, del var matrix B, 7, comma 16, store into the dimensions of matrix B, for x, comma 1, comma 8, output x, comma 1, comma quote, and I, and output x, comma 9, comma quote, and I as well. So that gives you your i's there, and then the next stuff will be the A, B, C, D, E, F stuff. Output x, comma 1, comma sub, string 1, at whatever x minus 1 is, comma 1. Because I don't start it at the very top, I started 1 down. That is why I'm subtracting 1, and that's taking then the x value minus 1 of whatever is in the string. Like, for example, it's the first variable in the string, or first number or letter, and then you only take 1 instead of taking like 3 different things after it, or 5 different things. You only take the first one. Then output x, comma 9, comma sub, string 1, comma x minus 1, comma 1. Does the same thing. End, end, end. For x, comma 1, comma 16, output 1, comma x, comma quote, a minus sign. Output 8, comma x, comma quote, a minus sign. End. Output 1, comma 2, comma quote, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and output 1, comma 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's where you get the 1 to 7 on the top. You could also do it on the bottom. If you want to do that, you just have to change the y to 8. Okay, 6 store into g, 2 store into y, and 2 store into x. Repeat until g is equal to 0 and k is equal to 23. So repeat until your ship number is equal to 0, so you placed all your ships, and you click the delete key, which is key number 23. Get key store into k. If sum of k is equal to 24, comma 25, comma 26, comma 34, comma 105. So if you click one of these keys, so 24, 25, 26, or sorry, I'm not actually doing them. What they are, it's 24, 25, 26, and 34. And then 105 is the enter key. Okay, then output y, comma x, comma quote, a space, y store into a, x store into b, min 7, comma max 2, comma y plus k is equal to 34, minus parenthesis k is equal to 25 stored into y. So this is basic movement code right here. So if you'd like to use that in a program that you're making, go right ahead. There is an article on TI Basic Developer about this. I'm pretty sure it's on piecewise expressions. And anyways, it goes into really good detail and explains it really well. So I do recommend that to anyone who is beginning in programming. And there's also a starter kit on TI Basic Developer, so you can check that out as well. Min 8, comma max 2, comma x plus k is equal to 26, minus k is equal to 24, store into x. Output x, comma y, comma quote, the plus. If k is equal to 105, and then multiply that by matrix A at y, comma x is equal to 1, and then add that to whatever your ship number is, and then not matrix A at y, comma x. So if it's not equal to 0, basically. And then g minus 1 plus 2, not store into matrix A. G minus 1 plus 2 at matrix A at y, comma x equals 1, store into G. So if it is equal to 1, then store that into G. Absolute value of matrix A at y, comma x minus 1, store into matrix A at y, comma x. Sorry. And that is the stuff to place and pick up your ships. And that's the thing that I used in Minesweeper as well. And if matrix A at a comma b is equal to 1, so if where you moved from in that matrix is equal to 1, then output a O. So output at a comma b, comma quote, an O. If matrix A at a comma b is equal to 0, then output a space. Output y comma x comma quote a plus and end. Output y comma x comma quote space for x comma 2 comma 8 for y comma 2 comma 7. If matrix A at y comma x is equal to 1, output at y comma x comma quote a space and end. So this is the stuff that erases the ships at the end, just so your enemy cannot see where you placed your ships and how long they were and that kind of stuff. So 6 store into G, 2 store into Y, and 2 store into X. Repeat until G is equal to 0, so your ship number is equal to 0, and the key is equal to 23, which is delete. Get key store into K. If sum of K is equal to 24, 25, 26, 34, 105, then output at y, x, quote, a space, y store into A, and x store into B. Min 7, max 2, y plus k is equal to 34, minus k is equal to 25, store into y. Min 16, max 10, x plus k is equal to 26, minus k is equal to 24, store into x. It's the same movement code throughout the program, by the way. Output at y, x, quote, a plus. If k is equal to 105, multiplied by matrix B at y, x is equal to 1 plus g, not matrix B at y, x, then g minus 1. So you're basically automatically assuming that they're placing a flag. So that's why it's a plus 2 instead of a plus 1. So then if you're picking one up, you already assumed that you were putting one down. So you have to unassume that you're putting that one down and pick the one up. So that's why it is a plus 2. So g minus 1 plus 2 at matrix B at y, x is equal to 1, stored in G. Absolute value of matrix B at y, x minus 1 stored into matrix B at y, x. And if matrix B at a, b is equal to 1, output at a, b, quote, an O. If matrix B at a, b is equal to 0, output at a, b, quote, a space. Output y, x, quote, a plus. Two ends, and then the same sort of erasing thing. So you have output at y, x, quote, a space. And then you have for x, 10, 16, so it's just a different area of the screen. And then for y, 2, 7, if matrix B at y, x is equal to 1, output at y, x, quote, a space. And then a couple ends. And then we're setting up the ship numbers again, the turn number, and the screen where you have your cursor on the screen. So I'm using a master repeat loop here, which is this repeat loop here. And it goes for every shot, and it'll repeat, and it checks to see if one player's number is equal to 0 or the other player's number is equal to 0. And I will explain why I do have something in the middle of the code later, so we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so 6 stored to G, 6 stored to H, 1 stored to T, 2 stored to X, and 2 stored to Y. So these two are the ship numbers, turn numbers, and then where your cursor is. Okay, so repeat until H is equal to 0 or G is equal to 0. 2 stored to Y and 2 stored to X. Repeat until T is not equal to 1. Get T stored to K. If K is equal to 45, return. So if you click the clear key, you will exit the program. If sum of K is equal to 24, 25, 26, 34, 105, then X stored to B and Y stored to A. Output at Y, X, quote a space, max 2, min 8, X plus K is equal to 26, minus K is equal to 24, stored to X. Max 2, min 7, plus Y, or Y plus K is equal to 34, minus K is equal to 25, stored to Y. And the max and the minimum, max and min, those are like the screen dimension settings. They're not actually the screen dimension settings, but what they're doing is they're not allowing the player to travel any further than 7 and 2 on the Y and 8 and 2 on the X. So that's what those do. They set like boundaries, like an invisible border, you could say. Output at Y, X, quote a plus. If matrix B at A, B is equal to 2, output at A, B, quote a little x. If matrix B at A, B is equal to 9, output at A, B, quote a multiplication symbol, which can be found right there. If K is equal to 105, then if matrix A at Y, X is equal to 0, then output at Y, X, quote a little x. 2 stored into matrix A at Y, X. So that means you shot. So now it knows that if you go over somewhere that you shot, it needs to output that little x. And same thing, a ship is 1 in the matrix. And if you actually hit it, it needs to make it 9. Because otherwise you could just move around the screen, and if you passed over somewhere that their ship was, it would reveal it. So that's why I use 9. You could also use 3 if you wanted, but you'd have to change all of the stuff that was 9 to 3. So I just like using 9 because it's a long ways away from 1. So yeah, if matrix A at Y, X is equal to 1, then 9 stored into matrix A at Y, X, output at Y, X, quote a multiplication symbol, like an asterisk, basically. And then G minus 1 stored into G, so your ship number, minus 1 store into your new ship number, which is 1 less than you had before, end. T plus 1 stored into T, end. So now it ends your turn, basically. And then 3 more ends right there. If G is equal to 0, return. So the reason I have if G is equal to 0, return, if player 2, which is the player on this half of the screen, destroys player 1, it won't actually check it until it's run all the code in the thing, and then it goes back to the beginning of the repeat loop and checks to see if both of the ship numbers are 0. So that is the reason that I have one in the middle, because it won't actually check it. It will give the second player a turn, and then you might have like a dispute over who won, even though you really probably know who did win. But that's why I did that. Okay, then you have 10 stored to X and 2 stored to Y, just so it gets it within your boundaries. It would glitch it back over, but it would erase some stuff possibly. So that is why I had the 10 stored to X and 2 stored to Y right there. Repeat until T is not equal to 2. Get key stored to K. If K is equal to 45, return. If sum of K is equal to 24, 25, 26, 34, 105, then X stored to B, Y stored to A. Output at Y, X, quote a space. Max 10, min 16, X plus K is equal to 26, minus K is equal to 24, stored to X. Max 2, min 7, Y plus K is equal to 34, minus K is equal to 25, stored to Y. Output at Y, X, quote the plus. If matrix B at A, B is equal to 2, output at A, B, quote a little x. If matrix B at A, B is equal to 9, then you output at A, B, quote another asterisk. if k is equal to 105, then if matrix B, if matrix B at y comma x is equal to 0, because you actually do have to check to make sure that it is equal to 0 first, or you could do it the other way around, but you have to make sure you have the if in there. Output at y comma x comma quote a little x, 2 store into matrix B at y comma x. And if matrix B at y comma x is equal to 1, then 9 store into matrix B at y comma x. Output at y comma x comma quote the asterisk, or the multiplication symbol, h minus 1 store into h, end. T minus 1 store into t, end. So that's 4 ends there, and that is the rest of the program. That is the entire program that you need to play Battleship. It's a very fun game. It's kind of like the classic version of Battleship. So if you liked today's video, I hope you do watch some more of my videos, and I hope you do have fun playing this game. If I would love it if you would subscribe. It helps me out a lot. It lets me know that people like my content. So if you do that, I'd be very happy, and thank you to all the people who are subscribed. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.